like to welcome everybody out here to another episode of the Parker Radio Show. It is Friday, and we're live here in Middle Tennessee. We got Chris Heaton all the way from Iowa here with us tonight. So we got some great music coming your way. Again, big shout out to our sponsors, One Less CBD. You can check them out at onelesscbd.com/UB Radio, alongside with American Musical Arts Group and Sir Pizza. So how we doing, Chris? Welcome into the studio.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back. I know we did this last year, I think, when my EP dropped, but we kind of did this over the phone, so it's nice to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, you know, it was a pleasure. We had the pleasure of going out and experiencing a little bit of Nashville, and that was just such a great time, and I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed that too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd never seen the city, so it was, I was out of my element for a little bit, so it was good. It was good.
I mean, what were your thoughts, you know, when we cruised down through Broadway, you know, so many different acts going on and things like that? I mean,
just watching how people worked in their natural element, like watching these guys pack up and move from bar to bar, that's dedication. I mean, I'm like a weekend warrior, or I guess I call myself a dive bar superstar. So to see these guys go out there and do that, it's I mean, they're putting their work in, what it takes.
Yeah, for sure. Could you see yourself, you know, playing in something like that, one of those settings, maybe here in the future?
It's like a dream. Yeah, that would be super cool. You know, you got to get out there, and that's how them boys are doing it. And
yeah,
I'd kill to be on one of those stages.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in the music industry.
Yeah, so I started doing this when I was like 18, 19 years old, and I was living with a guy, and he always sat and played the guitar. I was a watcher. One day I asked him if he'd sell it to me, and he did, and I took it, and self-taught. So I never took lessons. I tried to take lessons, but I couldn't learn in school. I couldn't learn in school. There's no way I was going to learn after you know. So I spent the first 4 years kind of learning my craft, and then I remember when I first started, I used to go to downtown Des Moines. There was this cafe. It was called the Ritual Cafe, and every Thursday night they would have an open mic. And back in the Craigslist days, I just happened to see this on Craigslist, and I just wanted to play for people. And so I would go. I used to go up there 2 or 3 times a month, and it got me comfortable being in front of people, you know. And then I got with a couple bands, and I'll never forget the night. I was 22, 23 years old, and I get a call on the phone from this band. They were called Shattered, and I'll never forget it. I was drinking Canadian Club and ice water with my boss, and they said, "Hey, our bass player quit. We need you to play bass for us." And I said, "I ain't never played the bass guitar." They said, "That's all right. You'll figure it out." And I spent the next 2 years figuring it out on the road. You know, we traveled around. It was a good time. We played with bands and it was a rock band, you know. So we played with Skid Row, Bang Tango. There was a Megadeth show there, and it went all the way down to we played with punk bands. One of the biggest punk bands at the time, Against Me. We went up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and got to open up for them guys. It's a huge deal. They drew a big crowd.
So, I mean, you know, in your music career, have you had any training or anything like that on your journey to where you're at today?
No, you know, I took lessons for a while from a guy. I used to work at a tire shop, and I remember on Friday afternoons, I would take a long lunch, and I'd go over there, and this guy would try to teach me a little bit of music theory, and I'm not going to say I didn't learn nothing from it, but I did it for a long time, and then I realized that this guy wasn't the Christian fella he played himself out to be, and I just had to cut ties, and I said, "I appreciate what you're doing, but keep the money, I gotta go." And, that was as far as training, or learning how to do anything. That's about all I had. Other than that, it's just been watching and learning. I watch a lot of people play. I watch a lot of performances. And so I'm a one-man band, and my whole deal is like you're one man up there. And I invite everybody to watch some of my videos or some of my shows, because you'll see that I try to make that stage as big as possible. I want to make that stage look as full as possible, because I'm just one guy, so the more you got up there, the fuller it looks, and I guess the better you look, the more professional you look. I'm just trying to be professional in what I do, It's a struggle. You got a lot of other guys out there doing the same thing I'm doing right now, especially back where I'm from. It's a really flooded market, so you have to be the artist that sticks out.
So I know you got a new EP out called Proud Boys. You gonna play it for us today?
Yeah, that is a song I recorded last year. I got that from the Farley camp, and I don't know why they didn't put it out, but a good friend of mine, Adam Whitehead, we got permission to cover this song, and I was super proud of it. We put a lot of money and a lot of time into it, and I'm glad that it's out there now.
Well, all right, well, let's hear it. Take it away.
Pipelines in them logwoods from sun up till it fades. We shoot our guns and stand for our flag, that's how we were raised. Don't back down, we don't start no trouble, but if it comes, brother, we ain't running away. Raised in the Bible, built by a Bible, in a belt made in the USA. We them proud boys, never back down, boys. Always got your six when the shit goes on. Yeah, we them damn proud boys. Yeah, we're the kind that you call when you're falling on hard times. God that I brawl, man, it don't matter them bloodlines. Ain't gonna walk it, we talk it. Catch us cropping or stalking. All of the food that we eat, no need for Walmart or Target, nah. Keep that scope on a handed-down rifle for long range. Daily pan our dues and refuse to be shortchanged. You got a scratch on that ride, boy, here's some spray paint. And anything broke on it can be mended with duct tape. On a lunch break, eating leftovers from supper. When life gets tough, we get tougher, cause we just some tough mutters, yeah. Tell it how it is, and there ain't no need for a buffer. So let us do us, and you do you. We them proud boys, never back down, boys. Always got your six when the goes south, boy. Them homegrown small town boys that you can count on. Yeah, we them damn proud boys.
Chris Heaton, ladies and gentlemen, singing Proud Boys. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome job, brother. So tell us a little bit about the song and, how you got in contact with it.
Yeah, so, I know that song came out during the pandemic, and during the pandemic a lot of things were going on, and I guess I was unhappy with what was going on myself, and I heard that song, and it spoke volumes, and you can read it how you want it, but at the end of the day, that song talks about you get out what you put in, and there's always people there, and we're not biased. We're good people, you know. And it's all about being a good person. That's what that song is about. And with everything that was going on, I didn't want that song to disappear. And people like it. I mean, a lot of people have listened to it. I really wish Charlie put it back out, because it's just an amazing song. It speaks volumes, and I was really proud that they gave me the permission to be able to put that song together.
So what was your, favorite concert, I should better say, you being up on stage and, fans interacting with you, maybe an autograph or someone that stood out to you? I know you passed off a guitar to a young man just not too long ago.
Well, I think the biggest one to date was just about a month ago. I played in Ankeny, Iowa, and they put this event on every Friday for the summer, and it's called Sips and Songs. And Sips and Songs reached out to me earlier this year and asked me to do the event, and I said, yeah, no problem, I'd be happy to. And so I was sitting in my my kitchen one morning drinking coffee before work, and I was watching the news, and up come this story about this little girl. Her name's Bria, and I hope I'm not butchering the last name, but Lisovska, I want to say is close to being the last name. But I seen a story about this little girl. She's 6 years old, and she's losing her ability to see. And long story short, I lost a little girl years ago, and that one kind of tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. And I reached out to her dad on Instagram that morning, and I explained that I was doing this show in Ankeny, and I knew they lived in Granger, which wasn't far away. And they're just trying to get her to see everything she can before she can. And I said, I'd love to donate the proceeds from the show to you and your family, just to help you. It's not a lot, but it's something. And her dad got back to me and said, that's amazing, I appreciate it, thank you so much, and we'll be there. And show day comes, and they showed up, and this little girl comes up, and she's just the cutest little 6-year-old girl you ever met. And I talked to them, and they went and sat back down at the VIP stage or the VIP area, and I was setting up, and I get done, and the director for Sips and Songs comes up and wanted to talk to me, and she said, we heard what you were doing for that little girl tonight, and they said, we want to do something also. We don't want to step on your toes. And I said, you ain't stepping on nobody's toes, ma'am, because I'm not doing this for me. And they said, well, we want to give the family another $800 on top of what you're giving them. And so I did my set, and about halfway through my set, I stopped, and we brought the family up on the stage, and that little girl, we picked her up, we let her talk in the microphone. She got her first experience of being on a big stage, or maybe it was the first time being on the stage, period, but I was so proud to be able to give back like that, because I think I explained to you yesterday how I do business. Everything I own is paid for, so it doesn't, in playing music, it don't cost me anything to do business. And if I find a worthy cause, it just makes sense to me. I know how people have helped me out, continue to help me out, and it makes it's full circle deal. What you put in comes back. I believe in karma, and it's helped me out.
For sure. So, like, fan interaction is a big thing, and whether you're playing in a small crowd or a big setting, what do you prefer? Do you bounce off your crowd kind of thing? I mean, would you rather have a bigger crowd or a smaller, intimate setting to where you can interact, with your fans?
So I'm not partial. I make them interact. If they won't come to me, I don't have a problem going to them. That's the power of wireless. You can take the show any way you want to. So there's been times I played up in this little town called Havlik, and I was probably 30 feet back on the stage, and they were just having a good time way up here. And they had these big round wire spool tables out in the outside of the bar. I ended up grabbing everything, and I set it up on one of them spool tables just right in the middle of everybody. And that turned that whole night for the whole crowd from 0 to 100. So it don't matter if it's a big crowd or a small crowd. You have to make them. It's hard to explain. What you do affects how they act. You know, when I go up and do a show, it's great that I don't have to act like myself because I'm getting paid to be somebody else, and I've been judged in public for how I act on stage, and that's what people don't understand is I get paid to act that way, and you come see me the next day and I'm right back to me and my wife and kids, you know, but that's what I get paid to do. I get paid to make people have a good time, and that's what I seem to do well enough at it. I mean, I've done about 50 shows this year, and I haven't cold called one. So I don't know if that says anything, but I think I'm doing something right.
Well, that's awesome. You know, it's always nice to, you know, interact with those fans and things like that, you know, and get a feedback on them. But you got a couple covers for us, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's take it away.
Yeah, this first one, my wife just loves hearing this in my show, so I always do this for her. This is called this is a Whiskey Myers tune. My first rifle was a 243. Papa gave Daddy and Daddy gave to me. Taught me how to shoot with a steady hand. I guess that's something you don't understand. I grew up on a prison farm, sneaking gold to shine from a mason jar. Used to go fishing at a pickle creek dam. I guess that's something you don't understand. Grandma's in the kitchen, Papa done passed on. Sit out on the front porch, just picking up song. There's blood on the table, 'cause we work for what we have. I was raised in this land. I guess that's something you don't understand. I still fly that southern flag, whistling Dixieland enough to brag. I know all the words to simple man. I guess that's something you don't understand. I pledge my allegiance the original way. I say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holiday. Know my place, I know who I am. I guess that's something you don't understand. Grandma's in the kitchen, Papa done passed on. Sit out on the front porch, just picking up song. There's blood on the table, we work for what we have. I was raised in this land. I guess that's something you don't understand. Fill us up in a big machine, feed us all on the same beliefs, with a holy dollar and a credit card. But I got a way of doing things, no banker's gonna steal from me. Gonna tear it up in my heart. in the kitchen. Papa done passed on. Sit out on the front porch, picking on the song. Blood on the table, work for what we have. It's the ballad of a southern man. I guess that's something you don't understand. My first rifle was a 243. Papa gave Daddy and Daddy gave to me.
Chris Heaton live here in the Parker Radio Show here in Unique Beatz Studio here in Middle Tennessee, singing some
Whiskey
cover tunes. Next up, we got a song that he had put together, True Grit. Tell us a little bit about that, Chris.
So earlier this year, again, I was working with my good friend Adam Whitehead, and we got together on this show with a band called Lakeview, and it was an opening gig we had at a bar in downtown Des Moines, and some stuff had happened in government, and I'm an opinionated guy, and I said something on my private Facebook page that I guess somebody didn't like, and so this bar came back and had some choice words to say about me, but ultimately they said they didn't want me on their stage, and it upset me a lot, like, because my idea is, and I own a business, so business is business, and if a person can't keep it that way, they're never going to be successful. I mean, I could hate you, but I don't hate money. So business is business, and I'll do business with you. I don't have to like you. But so that happened, and I sat down one day, and I grabbed onto this song, and an hour later, here's what came out of my mouth.
All right, we're on mute.
Can I get
playing
something
that
to drink
song so you can get a drink?
Yeah. I was losing my voice there for a minute.
No, you're fine.
Does it sound all right?
Yeah, we're just having low latency internet, but I was watching it through my phone as you were talking to me. I'm listening to you, but I'm controlling things too, so I'm kind of looking down.
Was it lagging?
You're not hearing a volume? Come in.
No volume?
True Grit live here at the Parker Radio Show, powered by Unique Beatz. Wow, you know, that song speaks words, Chris. Great song there, you know. It's a pleasure having you here in the studio. You're a great new addition to our lineup of artists, and
Absolutely, thank you.
I appreciate you coming in here all the way from Iowa. And
yeah, it was a long drive.
Again, thank you all for tuning in. Now, Chris, if we were wanting to follow you, wanting to check out your concerts, things like that, where would we go to?
Yeah, definitely.
See some social media.
You can find me. Look me up on Facebook. Look up Heaton Entertainment, or check me out on Instagram. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes. We got a big show coming up next month. We're kind of excited about.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. You know, I mean, Redneck Grave. You know, just in time. You know, he's from my hometown up there in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I did a few shows with him. You know, a while back ago. But tell us a little bit about that. That's coming up here.
Boy, it's something I never experienced before, but it's one of those calls you don't turn down. They don't come very often, but I got a phone call and they said they had 4 opening spots and asked me if I was interested in taking one. And I can tell you the biggest crowd I probably played in front of, I had 3,000 or 4,000 people, you know. But I think we're talking in the avenue of 15 to 20, thousand people, and that's insane. The biggest show I've ever done, and I'm at the point where I'm 37 years old. Like, you're only marketable for so long, I feel like, especially when you're just trying to get in the game, you know. So if you don't put your money where your mouth is now, you might never have that opportunity, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm taking this opportunity to play for the masses, and I hope something comes out of it, you know. But time will tell. I put a lot of money, time, and energy into making this happen. I mean, coming down here was one of the things on the checklist of that show happening. I wanted to come down here. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to get the word out there. This is what's going on, you know, and I'd love it if I could get a nice camp there with us, you know. The show is October 12th through the 14th at Steedman Off-Road Park, or Vandy's Off-Road Park in Steedman, Missouri. And I don't know if it's like 150, 160 acre off-road park. So I hear anything with 4 wheels is allowed. And actually they've thrown these parties for years, but this is the first cannabis redneck grave they've ever thrown. And I can't tell you right now what that entails, but I'm sure you can use your imagination. I mean, but I've talked to a lot of vendors, a lot of people that are going to be there. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. I've got a lot of crew coming down with me. It's weird that I walk into a bar and the bartender comes up and says, I heard a dirty little secret about you, and she tells me she's going. And so it's great to have people come up and recognize that, you know. It lets me know people are actually paying attention to what I'm doing. And like I said, where I'm from, it's a flooded market, so you got to be the loudest voice in the room. And I think by doing what I just did, doing what I'm doing today, and what I plan to do in the near future, I think I'm really my voice is standing out in the crowd.
Well, that's awesome, you know. So if someone wants to go to that or buy tickets, where would we go to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Check that out?
You look up www.redneckgrave.com. All your single day VIP camping passes, you can get everything there. If you have questions, they got contacts there, because I know there's a lot of questions swirling around about, you know, what's this cost? You got to do this for this, and you can find all that information on redneckgrave.com. So,
well, very nice. Like I said, it was a pleasure having you here in the studio. You got another song for us to kick us off?
Yeah. Look, country cover song called "Keep the Wolves Away." That's where I learned to whistle. I took my first breath when the muddy Brazil spills between the Gulf of Mexico. Skyline's covered by chemical plants that put bread on the table for the working man. Yeah, the working man does his best to provide safety and shelter for kids and a wife. Give a little of his soul every day, working overtime to keep the wolves away. I was barely 13 when the company man tried to dig my daddy's grave. Well, it happened on a French-owned tanker ship, filled with poison into Galveston Bay. Yeah, the liquid fire filled his lungs and his eyes, and it silenced any moans and cries. Cold and with grit, dang sick and pain, but he fought like hell to keep the wolves away.
Chris Heaton, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in here on the YouTube app. It's always a pleasure having you. Again, big shout out to our sponsors, One Less CBD, American Musical Arts Group, and Sir Pizza. And again, thank you all for tuning in. If you'd like to submit your submissions or your EPKs, feel free to check us out at uniquebeats.com. Simply down at the bottom, just hit the little contact info button and send us your press kit, cover photos, things like that. And look to see you guys back here on another Parker Radio Show. Thank you all for tuning in.